So, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever and wherever you are hearing this. I hope it is well. Welcome to episode 3 of the Mellow Mood Podcast with your host, none other than your dude himself. I appreciate everybody hanging in and coming back for more. As you can see, it's just me this morning, and it's just an unfortunate series of events with a couple guests who had to cancel last minute. But that's all good. I think this is exactly what I needed, and hopefully I can make this at least an enjoyable experience. So straight off the bat, I think we're gonna just call this getting real. So, hope you guys have a couple minutes. I'd like to kind of tell my story and give a better understanding of who I am as a person. I've been through probably more than I should have at this age, admittedly. And I'm not like the 14-year-old girl complaining about it on MySpace. I think that there's a lot that I can give advice on or offer a unique perspective on with just the experiences that I've had throughout my transition into adulthood. So, I actually have not slept, and I just kicked my company out that I had over here because I really wanted this to be an intimate experience. I just think I need to talk, and I hope that I can provide at least some entertainment for a few minutes of your day. And once again, before I just start going in, I just wanted to sincerely thank you for all the support and tell you that I really do appreciate everybody tuning in to the Mellow Mood Podcast. I look forward to talking at you guys soon. But let's do this thing. Let's get after it. As you can see, I have not slept. You can tell by how greasy and awful my hair looks, which is pretty rare for me. But I thought that it would be fitting and a great segue into the first question that I'm asked all the time. And that's, what's up with the long hair, dude? Because all through high school, I had the short, regular white people haircut. Went through the skater phase where I spiked it up, the early 2000s look. But let's begin our journey in, let's just say 2009, somewhere around there, 14 or 15 years old, 2008, 2009. My granny is diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And before I was the musically inclined Mr. Robinson that you all know now, I used to just hang out with my granny and play video games. That was the life. So we would go over to my granny's house every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think we'd go less on Fridays. It doesn't matter. If it was football season, we were definitely going to go to the football game. At least I was. But my granny idolized my cousins and myself. I don't, I'm not a grandparent, so I can't totally explain the connection that we had. She just loved us more than anything on earth. So much so where we would just as an example, we'd walk through JCPenney or whatever, and if I, like, my 7-year-old self pointed out like a Pokemon toy that I wanted, Granny would just grab it and put it in the buggy. Don't even ask any questions. Spoil me rotten, I'm telling you. But in the afternoons, we put on some Judge Judy, waiting for cops to come on, because still to the day, one of the best television programs ever made, and those cameramen are the bravest men on earth. But I would sit at the foot of her recliner, and she would just do this on the top of my head. She'd just scrunch my hair, and she'd always say, "Oh, what I'd give for just a lock of this hair," or whatever. Thinking, just think about the fact that I'm 10 years old, just have short hair. Imagine what she'd think now, dude. Oh my goodness. I don't know if she'd be mad because I look homeless or thrilled that I have so much more. She used to always say what I'd give. So I decided when she died that's probably like one of my most fond memories, and weirdly enough, one of the most defining things that ever really happened to me, honestly. As a child, I mean, and I mean personality wise, not like big events or anything like that. I didn't have that sheltered of a life. Pretty sheltered life, but not that sheltered. So when she died, and a couple events that we'll get to later on, I decided that I wanted to grow my hair out and donate it. And I thought that the first round of doing it was going to be the end of it. I thought that was the end of the story. I thought I was going to grow it out, hate it, and then cut it, and then give it away. And that's it. That's the end of it. That's the long hair, because I couldn't stand it. I thought I looked stupid. It makes me look old and fat and depressed and homeless. Blah, blah, blah. I'm insecure. But it's almost become me at this point. I went from spiking my hair up and being a skater boy to growing my hair out and being a surfer boy. You know, peace and love. But you'll soon learn that that wasn't the only thing that kind of defined me as a person later in life, because of my granny. Honestly, I think everyone that I know is at least partially affected with the way that she was as a human. And I promise you, I've got tons and tons of stories, just little things like that just shape you into the person that you are. Like, I mean, I can't see a woman struggling to pick up a bag of rice at Walmart or something, you know, like little stuff like that, because I knew she'd kick my tail if I was walking by and I saw somebody struggling like that. But so while Granny had cancer, as I was saying, she kind of worshiped. She didn't worship us, but she definitely cherished our being, if you will. I don't really know the best way to word that without sounding like a total cheeseball, but she loved us a lot. And I wanted to find a way to kind of give back to her, because I think around age 13 or 14, I started getting to the point where I was understanding like qualities in life about stuff like that. You know what I mean? I was starting to understand, like, oh, these Pokemon cards aren't free. Like, what I'm getting at is I one day just dropped it and decided I want to play guitar for my granny on a day that she's had chemotherapy. And I'm going to try not to choke up through all this. I'm already struggling. But so my uncle Scott, who I still don't believe is just my uncle. I'm more like him than I am anybody else in my family. I think he might be my dad. But anyways, I have to give credit where it's due to Scott, because he brought an acoustic guitar over to Granny's house. I think it was like one Christmas or whatever. And I was like, this is my chance. And of course, he's the only person in the whole family who plays guitar, so he's got to be the center of attention, just like me. And he pulls out his fancy Art and Lutheran guitar, and he plays, I can't remember the name of the song, but it's the one where it's like, finally I figured out it took a long, long time. I don't know, I have to close my eyes when I sing that, but yeah, he plays, I think it's called Runaround. And I was shook. Like, my world was changed forever. In that moment, I knew what my purpose was. I knew that this is what I got to do. This is it. This is what my thing is. Because my whole life I had such an identity problem. Like, I thought I wanted to be a skater. I couldn't pick a group of friends that I really just clicked with. I was always kind of a loner. I was friends with everybody, but I didn't really have like a set type of people that I hung out with like everybody else. Like, there's cliques. And I didn't really have a clique. It was basically just me and my friend Kenneth. But anyways, so I just sat there and watched him do all the same 4 songs for 3 straight days of the weekend. And I said, hey, when you go back to Birmingham, you think you could let me borrow that guitar for a little bit, dude? And I think the first time I asked him that, he didn't take me super serious, and I think he was still playing a lot at the time. The only reason I remember this is because I recorded like really, really early demos in like 2014, and I had to use a different uncle on my dad's side's guitar. It may have just been because there weren't pickups in that guitar. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Whatever. I get the guitar. Okay? Scott's gone. So, before Scott left me with the guitar, he showed me how to play like a G chord, a D, an A minor, a C, and an E minor. I specifically remember all of those chords. And with that, you're giving all that you need. You know what I mean? But I wanted to play I can specifically remember wanting to play the song Thunderstruck by AC/DC because I just thought it was the coolest thing, like hearing him do that lick. And still to the day, I chase a way to do it better than I do. It's just this one thing. It's always been a knife in my back my whole life. I just can't play the song right. But anyways, so I get it together at my granddad's house. I sit down in a setup almost exactly like this, just with a lot less monitors and a much smaller, older desk. And I put on Nirvana Unplugged for some reason. I don't remember why I even knew what that was when I was 14, but I watched Kurt Cobain play Man Who Sold the World, which is a David Bowie cover, I believe, and watched the intro lick over and over and over and over until it was second nature. Looked up tabs, it was like looking at a different language. It was like looking at Chinese. So I sat there and I learned. And I was like, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. And pretty much from that point forward, it was OV. I started trying to learn like the chords to songs so that I didn't want to sing, but so that other people could sing them. And ultimately, like in the process of trying to like show people the vocal melodies of like Don't Stop Believing and Wonderwall and like Iris and stuff like that, I ultimately like started singing a little bit. So when if you're not a musician, you don't really know a whole lot about all of it in general. The way that learning guitar works is you either start, you have a fire and you learn, or you start, have a fire, and then you just totally give up. And when I say learn, I literally mean like you like never ever stop. When you see a little bit of progress, it's almost like hitting the lottery. Like you tap into this thing in your heart and you just like never want to stop doing it. Right when you first learn now. I know that there's always going to be that old dude that hadn't played in 50 years, but he still knows how to play and all that. But I promise you, when he first started, he loved it and he kept at it. I mean, at least every experience that I have heard myself has been like that. Every guitar player has had almost the identical experience that I did. So I started I started like taking my guitar around, would take it to school. I was doing like breast cancer awareness stuff at school. I started writing songs, and no one will ever hear them. I like would do acoustic rap and stuff, and would like I would like call girls on the phone and sing them my original acoustic rap songs. Oh Jesus. It just hurts. Oh, it's so bad. Anyways, dude, it's really so bad. But so I started playing out, and eventually we get to where we are now. The thing that really got the fire under my rear end, as far as that goes, because guitar came first. Okay, I started playing guitar a little bit first. But I went, and I'm about to name drop so many people right now because I still don't forgive you. I don't remember her last name. I wish I did. I would totally name drop her because okay. So where I lived, my dad's best friend's dad lived like 100 yards away from us. Like right around the corner. And that's Chris Hughes is his name. Shout out to Chris Hughes. Great guy. And Chris Hughes' niece, Jessica Helms, was having a birthday party. And they had Guitar Hero 2 playing on a projector screen. And they had like the speakers booming. And I walked up because I just like heard a party, and Dad wanted to go say hey to Chris, so we walked over there, and like reality as I knew it had just been blown, had been totally shattered. Like there's these people up there. I don't even know who these people were. I just remember one person who we will learn about shortly because I still haven't forgiven her for this. But there's like some people up there playing the Guitar Hero 2 songs like Strutter by Kiss on Medium, and I just like am staring, like just like blank face, dead stare at the screen, trying to comprehend how someone can possibly do that. Cause like I'm doing on guitar, and these folks are playing songs on Medium, using all four of them fingers to play like chords and stuff. And this super pretty girl, her name's Kristen. Here we go, Kristen. I don't remember her last name. I think at the time it was like Roland or something like that. I still haven't had a chance to look her in the eyes, but she gets up there. She plays some song on Medium or whatever. Everybody's like, "Oh, Kristen, you're so cool and so talented and so pretty. We all like you." So I was like, let me get that guitar real quick. Oh, but I can't stand back too far because it's a corded PlayStation 2 Guitar Hero guitar. So I had to get kind of close. First time ever playing Guitar Hero in my life. Sweet Child O' Mine on easy. Your boy failed. I'm like 15, maybe. And this Kristen girl goes around making fun of me to everybody. Like, the only guy at the party who can't beat a song on easy. Boy, I'm about to rip my shirt off right now. I'm so mad. So, I was like super hurt, dude. I was like, I can't believe this girl would do this to me. The girls that I talk to on the phone that I sing my rap songs for don't treat me like this. You can't do that. You can't treat me like this. I'm an only child, and my parents never talked to me like that. Please, I've had such a nice childhood. Why do you have to ruin it, Kristen? So guess what I did? I said, Mom, Dad, I need a way to make some money now. They said, how about this? Paint the walls in the house. We'll give you $200. Spend it on whatever you want. When you're done, I'll drive you to Geneva Walmart, they say. Okay. Big bet. So we go make one trip to Geneva Walmart to get the paint. And by the way, thinking about this is actually hilarious. My mother and I, we need to talk. Because I painted the hallway of the house I grew up in. Painted it like a dark red, darker than the color of a brick. It's almost like a brown red. I don't know. Who cares? It's colors. It's a podcast. Blah, who cares? So I painted the 2 walls of the hallway. That's it. They took me to Geneva Walmart, and I bought Guitar Hero 2 with the controller and got to work. But my question is, Mom, why just the hallway? But anyway, thinking about it, like I lived in the house so long, I never really thought about it. But why do we just have 2 walls in the whole house painted? And I think that they painted like 3/4 of it, and I painted, 3/4. What's missing? 1/4 of the hallway, and they gave me like $200 and drove me there that night. And I scooped Guitar Hero, and that night started working on easy. And who would have thought? Since I'd never played before, all it took was a little practice. Maybe not make fun of a kid who can't play Guitar Hero who's never done it before, Kristen. So you know what I did? I beefed up. I got yoked. I practiced Guitar Hero every mother-licking day, brother. Got to where I could beat every song on expert. And I've still been waiting for the day. Still, Guitar Hero hadn't made a game since 2009. Or something like that. Oh, God, my timeline's so screwed. But Guitar Hero hadn't made a game since... Insert the actual date here. And I've been waiting ever since the last Guitar Hero came out. Because I beat it too. I've been waiting every day to look in your eyes while I beat any song you choose on expert, Kristen. We're done. We're done here. Business is over with. My dude, it's over. All right? Kristen, I'm sick of it. Okay? All right? All right. Back on track, boys. So, we start coming up on the tragic year of 2013. I know, such a high to go, but Granny fought with cancer for 5 years, and she ultimately ended up losing her battle, I guess. I hate to say that. I hate cliches, but she ended up losing her battle to cancer in 2013, November of 2013. And it was just a really awful experience, just from top to bottom. I mean, we thought a lot of the times we were going to lose her because she was in and out of the hospital. She was on chemotherapy, she lost a lot of weight. It was just really hard to see. Part 1 of my life advice after we had a little bit of fun. If you still have your grandparent and they're in good health, enough health for them to understand what you're saying, just call them and tell them you love them. I mean, it's insane, dude. Like, I can't call my granny. And honestly, like, I've been through so much that's one thing that I do wish I had. I've learned to live through the tragedy that I've experienced, but I just wish that I could call my granny because she'd have an answer for all this, But, so, graduate high school, start playing music out, Think I want to be an English teacher in college, which is weird in hindsight. Well, I tried my hardest, but American Lit too. Whew. that'll put anybody out. I'll tell you that much. That American Lit 2 is something, boy. Whew. But I'm playing at Miss Boomer's one night, which is a local place here in Dothan, in 2014, April of 2014, and my buddy Forrest calls me, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And for Forrest to be calling me at like 7:30 at night on a Saturday, something's up. So I said, "I'm playing a show at Miss Boomer's. What?" And he was like, "Can you talk for a second?" And I was like, "Okay." So I took the call and went outside. God, I had so many poor experiences at Miss Boomer's. Nothing against the business. They're closed now, but just bad stuff always happened when I was playing there. Like, I forgot my guitar one time when I was playing there, and I lived in Hartford. That's like a 45-minute drive, dude. It was disgusting. So he called me, and I set everything down. Took a break after I had just taken a break, which definitely pissed some people off. And he said, "Has anybody called you?" I said, "No." He said, "Can you sit down where you're at?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I went outside and sat on the curb outside of Miss Boomer's talking on my flip phone. I still have the phone from when I got this phone call. And he said Blake got in a motorcycle accident. And my immediate reaction was, of course. Motorcycles are so stupid, and I told him 1,000 times not to get on a motorcycle. And I was like, how bad was the wreck? And he was like, pretty bad. And I said, "Are you out there?" He said, "Nah, RJ is," which is, I think he was like Forrest's cousin or something. I was like, "Forrest?" And he said, "Dude, Blake's dead." And that's 6 months after Granny died, dude. Close to it, at least. And I hadn't really been through anything. For it to go from nothing to everything in 6 months. I mean, there's a lot of people that wouldn't have made it through that kind of thing, you know what I mean? And that those two deaths are the only two that I'm even mentioning right now. I lost my second cousin. He randomly was diagnosed with brain cancer. He'd been in Iraq. My great-grandmother died, and I spent a lot of time with that woman. She made the best grilled cheeses. She made a grilled cheese so bad Flip H Cheese couldn't stand not eating it. You know what I'm saying? She was amazing. But I continue going through school. I'm struggling. And I keep trying to play out, just trying to be happy. Struggling in an unhappy relationship as well at the time. And just one thing after the other. So now is the day that I never want to talk about, and I will probably get choked up talking about it, which is so funny because when we were kids, Kenneth would have made fun of me for even acting like I was finna get choked up about something. But let's do this. I need to talk about this. I need to get this off my chest because this has never really fully been recorded, and I just need to. For everybody who tunes into the Mellow Mood podcast, I try and keep everything light. But when I'm sitting here by myself and I hadn't slept, and I don't ever talk about this, I think it's time, dude. And I'll try and come up with like a really good joke at the end or something. Okay, so, okay. I'm just gonna tell a story as if I'm not staring into a camera this entire time. Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay. It's 6 o'clock in the morning on, I think, a Saturday, I want to say. Dad wakes me up. You see that I'm awake at 7 o'clock in the morning right now. I hadn't slept. You see how poor my sleep schedule is. And you're not even in my house. You know what I'm saying? People in my podcastville on the internet land. You see how bad my sleep is already. It's only been 3 episodes and you already know. So Dad wakes me up knowing it's about to piece me off. And he's like, hey, I need your help out here. I was like, what's wrong? He's like, I need your help fixing a lawnmower. Oh, the lawnmower that's been broken for 6 years that you still don't use? Oh, okay, yeah, let's fix it today at 6 o'clock in the morning, Dad. So I go outside with him. Oh, I'm so ill, dude. So ill. And he makes me get in the dirt and get up underneath this dang lawnmower, and ball bearings start falling out of the thing. I don't even know what that means. I just know that was ball bearings, of course, because Dad told me there were. But try to get it to work, and nothing happens. I get up. I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. He's like, well, let's go by Singletary's and get some parts. Maybe we'll go by Brandon Auto Parts, get some lunch. At this point, we've been fiddling with it probably about 4.5, 5 hours. So the scooter store in Hartford is open at this point. This was when they still had them dry chicken tenders, boy. Right when they sold out and got bought out by people. Hartford people know what I'm trying to say here. But they got bought out by cheap skates, and they had dry chicken tenders. So we go by, I think, we stopped by Singletary's. He's an auto mechanic in Hartford. And after that, we go to the scooter store. I get me a Surge. Didn't realize Surge was back, dude. Let's go. And I get a 4-piece chicken tender box with tater logs and a piece of cornbread. And because I figure I'll eat 2, Dad'll eat 2, or I'll eat 3 or 4, and Dad'll eat 0, and I'll just eat really fast. So while we're sitting there eating, Dad takes a bite out of his chicken tender and starts coughing like he's choking. I'm like, you good, dude? And he ignores what I said, forces it down somehow, and then acts like nothing ever happened, which is very strange. And throughout my entire life, my father and I always have had, like, squabbles. I hate that word, but we would always fight because I'm an only child, and my mother loves me more than anything on earth. Of course, with that comes some territory with my dad, so I just feel like that's important to kind of grasp the gravity of what I'm talking about. So, so we go back to the house, and Dad's like, I need your help trimming up these bushes before your mama gets home. All right. So, at this point, my father and I are, like, super chill. Like, we were going to the movies every Saturday. I mean, we were chilling, you know. So, he was trimming the hedges. I was raking up the leaves and throwing them in a fire pit. And every boy that is listening to this podcast knows that is the worst thing you can do. Oh my God, it sucks. And he was making me pull up weeds out of where our septic tank is. Oh my God, dude. Like, it does not get worse than that. Tell me what's worse. As like a boy, just like a white boy, what's worse than that? So, I'm gaining weight at this point. Boy, I'm in college. I'm hitting that freshman 15 that you gain. So, I'm like, dog, it's too hot out here. I'm fitting to go inside, give me a Gatorade, take 15. He's like, all right, I'm going to try and get this finished. So I go in, get a Gatorade, go back out, scrape up some more leaves, need another Gatorade. I'm so freaking hot. Go inside, take another 15, and then Dad's done. So I'm like, oh, hallelujah. I'm so ready to be not outside anymore because outside sucks. I mean, like, the sun just in general, ugh, not a fan. So I rake up everything as fast as I can and throw them leaves in the fire pit. I walk in, and Dad walks in with me. He falls out on the floor, and he's, like, acting weird as crap. And he's, like, reaching for stuff that ain't there. He's like, son, take my pants off. I said, Dad, no. Wait, no. He said, come on, son, I'm serious. So I helped him pull his little denim shorts off with them pale legs. Homie looked like a ghost. But he told me he wanted me to get him a Gatorade, so he drank the Gatorade real quick, and he's talking gibberish. And then my dad was like, I think 350 pounds at the time. He hops up to his feet and sprints to the back of the house. And then he jumps in his bed. I hear the and he starts screaming my name. And I was like, okay, what's up? I ran back there. He was like, I need 3 Gatorades, a tub, and a towel, and get me a glass of water. And then he's like, hurry! So I ran and got the Gatorade, and he's like, where's the tub? Where's the water? I was like, I'm trying, Dad. I only have 2 arms. He's like, hurry! So I run back there. He starts spitting in the little bucket, and he's trying to drink Gatorade, but he puts the Gatorade in his armpits and in his crotch. Sorry I keep bumping the table. I know it makes a sound every time I do it. I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can here. And starts talking gibberish, and he's like, literally like, so I called my mom. I was like, hey, I think Dad's having a heat stroke or something. He don't look so good. She's like, oh, Lord. Hand him the phone. I say, he ain't going to talk to you. So she talks to him. And he's like, don't talk to me like that. And then throws the phone back at me. And he's like, he was like, I love you, son. I was like, I love you too, Dad. What you need? He's like, I just need to cool off for a second. So I call Mom, or I think Mom's still on the phone. She's like, you need to get him in the truck now. I mean, something's about to happen. So I turned the AC down in the house down to like 40. Well, however cold it gets, I put it on that. And then I backed his truck up, which at the time still have never driven his truck. So I struggled the whole way backing up. Got all the doors open, ready to throw him in the truck. 350-pound man, little old me. It wasn't happening, but I was just hoping I could like rock, paper, scissors him for it or something. So, anyways, he said, I'm gonna try and go to the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom. TMI, sorry, he poops. And when he comes out, he's like feeling great. So he like puts his shorts on, puts his shirt on, and then he starts putting his shoes on. He's like, yeah, we'll meet your mom at the medical center in 30 minutes. Call her and tell her. I called her and I was like, hey, Dad said he's feeling fine. We're about to leave and meet you there in 30 minutes. Mom had been on her way. She said, do I need to call Granddad? And I was like, no, don't call Granddad. Don't call Granddad. Granddad lives like maybe 10 minutes out. And my dad's mother lives across the street. My dad's sister lives next to her, and my dad's brother lives next to us. So, like, within, like, I mean, maybe 100 yards of each other, I have all of my dad's family right there. And talks to Mom, and then Mom's like, you need to get up and go. Hurry up. You're going to mess around and die on me. And then Dad hung up the phone, and he sat back. He was like, woo, I got too hot out there. He said, I just need to cool off real quick. And I was like, I know, you've been saying that for like the past 40 minutes. Let's just go meet Mom at the hospital. We're not even going to go into the ER. I think that's what he was saying. He just didn't want to admit that something was wrong. So our idea was just get Dad to Enterprise Hospital. Mom will look at him and then be like, hey, go to the ER. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're trying to do. But he's not thinking rationally. So he lays on the floor, and I look down literally at my phone, iPhone 4. You remember? Everybody had one. And I texted my friend, and I literally swear on everything. My dad laid in the floor. He went like this. I texted my friend in Texas, and I said, I think my dad is having a heart attack. And I looked up, and he took a breath in, and he never breathed again. That was it. Dead. Right there on the floor. What was it? Less than 2 years after Granny died. Barely a year after Blake died. Started slapping him, doing all I could. Went to the ER. Got that call. I still specifically remember the doctor coming in and saying, we did all we could. And then he started crying. And then everything went black. And it was just me and my mom. There was like 5 or 6 people in the little room we were in. Ears ringing. And then I just look over, and it's just me and my mom. It's just black. Everything else is black. And she just starts screaming, no. And I grabbed her by her face, and I was like, we get through this. This doesn't end us. And for probably 2 years, maybe 3 years, my mother never saw me cry because of this. Because I'm it. You know, I'm all that my mother has. So I always try to stay positive, and things didn't go great after Dad died. I ended up moving out on my own shortly after. Long story. Just because it needed to happen. And things just hadn't been the same since. The kicker about all that is, dude, after Dad died, we pulled up the carpet just because we didn't want to see the carpet Dad died on. And my dog walked on our tile, and apparently the tile had asbestos in it, and my dog died like 2 weeks after Dad died. Jesus Christ, what a terrible, terrible time. But with all that story, my one message to everybody is, there's always someone who has it worse. I promise. And that's a lot coming from me. Always keep your head up. Always try and make at least one person smile every day. Even if it's the cashier at Walmart. You never know, you know. And I just think it's so very important for us to keep our head up. And I know that a lot of people are saying that, especially now, because no one has anything better to do because we're all locked inside because of this virus. Sorry to everyone listening in the future. I'm dating the podcast a little bit, but before the virus, after the virus, during the virus, it doesn't matter. Keep your head up, you know. Find little things that make you happy. Even if it's blowing your entire paycheck on Pokemon. Because what are we guaranteed? You know? But I have absolutely no idea how long I've been rambling for. I don't really want to look. I wish I had like some more talking points. But I guess with that, I literally like don't even have my phone. I don't know how long I've been talking. I feel like I've been talking forever. It's probably only been like 30 minutes because I'm sitting here by my freaking self. But Today's rec has been in the background. Today's recommendation has been in the background the entire time, I hope. And that is Bob Marley Legend. Specifically, the Bob Marley Legend vinyl. Not brought to you by anybody. I wish it was. Just because I collect vinyl, I will actually show you the record. Peep this. Ooh, look at that baby right there. Ooh, wee. Oh, that is so pretty. This got me through a lot of hard times, my friends. Bob Marley Legend is one of the greatest albums ever made, and it is fantastic on vinyl. Absolutely fantastic on vinyl. I hate to say it, but I was inspired to listen to Bob Marley from the movie I Am Legend. Anybody remember that? Back before you could lift the arms up in the movie theaters to cuddle with your girlfriend while you're watching the movie. Yeah, times were hard, kids. You don't know how easy you got it now, all right? But once again, man, I appreciate everybody watching and tuning in. I'm sorry that today was a bit of a somber one. I think this was important, and I think that you guys might know me a little better now. There was no bias. There's no one here to entertain. It's just me sitting in what I refuse to call my room on the podcast, talking about stuff, getting real, if you will. But I look forward to talking at you guys very soon. I have such a long list of people that I want to come by and chat with me on the podcast. Hopefully next week will be super light. I know for sure we're trying to get my baby boy Horatio. I would love to do a long distance Skype call with the love of my life, Matthew David Kerg, but I just don't know. I don't know if he's going to be available. He's such a busy guy. And I know he's been pretty busy worshiping the devil lately or whatever he's doing. I don't judge. He just dyed his, it's whatever. He dyed his hair white and pierced his nose. God, Matthew, he was so perfect. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm rambling. Anyways, all right, guys. I think that's going to do it for now. It's going to be so awkward clicking this end button. And since I'm by myself and I'm at this angle, I'm going to start kind of easing that way. Look, it's a super smooth transition. All right, guys? So, and so the Lord said unto John, come forth and have everlasting life. But John came in fifth and got a toaster.